watching to the Black Eagles podcast, a Beşiktaş talk show.
Ahmet Dursun Sergen aldı. Sergen Bülent yan yana. Sergen Bülent. Sergen. Yanında Tümer var. Tümer'e doğru aksiyon kaybetti. Tümer topu aldı. Sergen aldı. Gol! Gol! Gol! Sergen attı. Sergen attı. Şampiyonluk geldi. Sergen attı. Şampiyonluk geldi.
İbrahim'in pası. Roma. Şimdi Ahmet. İkinci gole gidiyor Beşiktaş. Ahmet.
Hello Black Eagles, welcome back to the Black Eagles podcast. Beşiktaş are coming off of a big win against Trabzonspor, who were kind of sneaking up behind us, and we're gonna talk all about that today. We're gonna talk about the whole Ugurcan situation, Trabzonspor's goalkeeper who got booed and jeered and some other stuff during the game. We're going to talk about Necip Uysal's contract extension, Mustafa Hekimoğlu's contract extension, and then we're gonna talk about some other fun stuff, but mostly the game. My name, as always, is Kaan. As you can see on your screen, I am joined by both my co-hosts, the man from New York City, Sinan Schwarting, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks mascot on the Black Eagles podcast. He's not wearing a Knicks shirt today. He's doing a bad job at being the mascot. Let's talk about Beşiktaş. And then on the other side of the three-way is Mr. Kartal Uğur, or Eagle from Scotland himself. And he's literally an eagle, guys. Look at that name. I mean, come on. Aren't we all just a little bit jealous of that magnificent name? Not to mention the beard, of course. You know, the perfectly trimmed beard. Looks like Austin Aries in his prime. Back at TNA, nobody's gonna get that reference except for a handful of people. But I get it. Katla gets it. That's all that matters. Guys, how was your weekends? Let's start with the man on the screen. Definitely.
6-7 years, it's been a fixture that we have struggled a bit with. But the tide is turning. We're going back to our dominance that we had against them. We beat them last year at home. We beat them in the cup final, and now we beat them again. So that's good. We beat them in 3 of the 4 last games. Good performance. Wasn't an amazing performance. I thought, like some people made out. I think maybe some people are exaggerating because we won a big game. But it was a good performance. A lot of positives to take from it. Really, I think our defensive duo, the back two, Ugurcan and Emirhan, I think they stood out really. I think even somebody like Rafa had a good game. Well, it was a great finish for the goal, and he could have had another one as well. Jedson played decent. Rashica, he got some criticism, but I thought he was decent as well.
Oh, no. I thought it was terrible. I really thought it was bad. Oh.
He was alright. He was fine.
He got on the ball a lot. He got in dangerous positions on the ball, but then he ruined everything. He ruined every attack. I think it was, it almost had to be a goal coming off of a intercepted cross. Like, that was just the story of his game, I think.
But see, to be fair though, Kaan, he did have one really good cross for Immobile. The Immobile should have done better with.
One in 7 or something.
João Mario had a really, really good game, I thought, man. He's really came onto a game.
Yeah.
Really came onto a game. I actually think that Semi robbed him of an assist as well.
Oh.
Near the end.
Yeah.
Where João Mario and Semi basically we broke out. I think it was 2v2 or maybe even 2v1.
Something like that.
And Semi, instead of like kind of hesitating and moving away from the defender to get into space, he runs with the defender, which I just didn't understand at all.
I don't think Semi understands either.
Yeah, just a wee bit. intelligence with his movement, and that really would have been a chance to make it 3-1 right at the end. Mobley, I think, to be honest, was very bad in the first half, but he was better in the second half.
I think you noticeably saw a drop off, I think, in our attack when he came off in the second half and when Semi came on, because I felt like Semi usually has a couple of good moments even when he's bad, but I felt like here I don't think he had any good moments.
I think it's quite funny. The commentators will do anything they can to gas Semi, man. Like, there was one position he was dribbling the ball, and the ball kind of like hit off the defender, hit back off Simeon. Because of that, it went past it, and the commentator was like, "Oh, Simeon then should caricate this," which means, like, for those who don't speak Turkish, it means it's like very fancy moves from Semi.
Yeah, let's get to Sinan's take on the match before we had to end the episode already, because Carla just clearly rewatched the highlights.
The whole thing. I don't know. My weekend was good.
Well, to be fair, usually Cartel is like just sitting there while I'm on the tangent. And he just listen to me nag all the time. Yeah. I mean, not that you were nagging at Cartel, but
he stole your thunder. No, I guess he stole my thunder.
No, it's good. Let's get the takes out straight away, man.
I was gonna say, like, are we in a rush here? Like, we didn't even. We should do that. We should do the lineups. Why should we do the lineups, folks?
Well, let's talk about the takes first. So, Felix Urukai and Emirhan, great game according to Cartel. Do you agree with that, Sinan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as someone who's been a proponent of our defenders all year, I feel like they're going from one strength to the next, to be honest. You know, they've been really solid all year, and it's showing that their kind of cohesion is developing, and their, interchange is obviously there, their communication. So, yeah, I mean, I think the defense has been solid, and obviously Masuaku coming into form, being a huge Man U fanboy or whatever it is.
Must be, man. Like,
Yeah, I mean, clearly he likes Ole, and I think that's even now on the record. I think he's said as much.
Great reaction to the coaching change, and even a little bit before that, right? He was already.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we could say he had a great reaction to the presidential change. Maybe that's what.
Yeah, well, and that was another thing that's now on the record too. So I mean, and we all maybe we don't all remember this, but yeah, Hussein Yücel kind of vocally threw Masuaku under the bus. Rightfully, I think you could argue. I mean, we were all basically doing the same thing for a while there.
Well, I mean, rightfully, I don't think he should.
Yeah, no,
there's no excuse
not
for saying the player has sent a notice to the club because he hasn't been paid or something like that. Like, as if that's a shameful thing. Like, if you're yeah, exactly. That's everything that's wrong with Turkish football, right? Like, you sign someone to a contract, you don't pay him on time, and then you have the audacity to be pissed off when they remind you of, hey, you haven't paid me yet. like as if that's some sort of cardinal sin or something. No, man, you're supposed to pay these players. I mean, especially like a guy like Masuaku who isn't on extreme money, like 1.3 million a year. 1.3 million a year is a lot of money for us normal folks. But, in the footballing world and in the Beşiktaş squad, he's not one of the more expensive players. So, like.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Masuaku. He was very good as well, man. In fact, Formob has him the man of the match.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Not that assisting. Something that you've actually been criticising Masuaku of all year. Mm-hmm. You said he doesn't play enough low crosses. He played a low cross to Rafa Silva.
Look what happens. Look what happens. He plays a low cross and we score a fucking goal. Wow, it's rocket science, man.
Miraculous.
We don't have a 2-meter tall Paul Onuachu in the box. Let's cross every ball high. No, we have Rafa Silva, we have Ciro Immobile, we have these types of players. You need to play it over the ground as much as possible. Quit with those high balls, man. We don't have the team for that. We don't have Talisca coming from the second line. We don't have Cenk Tosun, who's able to, in his prime, who was able to leap like a motherfucker. We don't have that, so we shouldn't play like we do. And
I mean, I'll say that I don't think Rashica got the memo as far as not skying crushes.
I think Rashica is usually aiming for his wife or something in the stands. I don't know. I don't know who he's trying to cross to. It definitely isn't Immobile.
No, I was curious.
I've had a thought about what I said about Rashica.
Yeah?
I've thought about it more. I actually remember being frustrated with him in the game now.
Oh, he was so frustrating, man.
There was like one time where if he released the ball straight away, it would have been like in fact there was twice where he just held on to the ball long.
Yeah.
If he passes straight away, it's going to be like a very dangerous attack. One of them would have been a goal scoring opportunity, but he held on to it too long. I think my initial take on him was just a bit clouded by like the goal sequence and the cross for Immobile, the chance he created Immobile. But there definitely was a couple of frustrating moments as well.
Essentially, he had one good moment in the match. That was the cross to Immobile. I wouldn't even call that goal a good moment because I think he fucks that. That should have been a goal for, who was it, Jetson at the near post?
Yeah, it was bad pass.
I think it was Jetson. And that's 100%.
There's another bad pass. I mean, that was his MO for the day.
He gets the credit for the goal there. He doesn't even celebrate because I think he knows he fucked it. Because that's a relatively easy. I mean, for a professional football player, a professional winger, I think that's an easy assist. And he fucks it up. And he's very lucky the defender fucks it up even more. Because otherwise, that would have been the umpteenth moment in that match. And other than that one good pass to Ciro, which Ciro then fluffed and didn't hit well. Yeah, he didn't have anything in this game. He got in plenty of those attacking sequences and opportunities, and he had moments to put in good crosses, but he just never delivered, except for that one moment. I think we were talking about the stalwart duo at the back, right?
Yeah, and how the whole back line was solid, and then I moved on to sort of Masuaku. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like, as far as Rashica goes, he it's not like you can blame his effort, right? He's always putting his all in. He's like fighting to get onto the other end of long balls, and in a way, I think he's even taken a step up in that regard. And I think maybe that's what Kartal and others might have been seeing as a positive. So he's getting to balls. He's kind of mucking things up a little, for a side that's really lacked for chances all season. It's good to see that kind of happening, and us not having a winger was a huge part of that. So just having someone on the wing is a benefit, but it can't go unsaid that his crossing is it was miserable. We should have had, as far as chances go, and for all the criticism I see for Ciro Immobile in his performance yesterday or in general. It goes, for me, the underlying point of all of this is that if Rashica is doing his job at all as far as creating chances and getting those balls into the box, Immobile would have maybe 5 or 6 shots rather than like the one that kind of muffs that save.
Exactly.
So one head on and one...
The header too, for sure, yeah. Which is a good cross on the left side.
Yeah. Who was that cross from? Was that from Masuaku, I think?
I think it was.
The header was Rashica.
Was it Rashica?
No, it came from the left side.
Yeah, because Rashica was on the left side.
Yeah, he did go to the left for a while. So that's two good
that
crosses.
was in the second half. But that was in the first 2 minutes of the game, though. He wouldn't have been on the left side yet.
No. It wasn't. If you watch that back, it was Rashica that crossed that. Because I even wrote in the group chat at the time, see how Rashica is more effective now he's moved to the left. Because I've been a proponent of that for a long time.
Guys, let's have a look at the lineups, and let's talk about these players' individual performances. I think that should be maybe a good way to combine going forward, maybe in future shows as well. We can talk about individual performances as we go over the lineups, perhaps.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about Trabzonspor first. Of course, their goalkeeper is Ugurcan, 28-year-old Turk, for anyone who isn't aware. Up ahead of him was Stefan Savic, 34-year-old Montenegrin, who we were linked to before he went to Trabzon. Next to him, 22-year-old Ukrainian Arseny Batahov, who I was unaware that they got. I don't know good he's been, but
Yeah, they only just
22-year-old
signed
Ukrainian.
him now, I think in January. Yeah. Oh, we're pointing out, by the way, with Ugurcan, like that. Did you guys have the same idea when he made that save on Rafa in the first couple of minutes? Like, he's gonna have.
Yeah, here we go again.
Here we go
for
again.
sure.
Exactly. Yeah, he's gonna have another one of those, those world-class performances.
I don't think that save was spectacular. Though. It was a
I
decent save.
thought it was a really good save, man. That was a good attempt.
Good save. I mean, it was diving,
Yeah.
off to his off foot.
Yeah,
I mean,
I thought
it definitely worried me. Anyway,
Like, see, the last game in Trabzon, he went into proper God Mondale. Like, see, the shot from Rafa, he saved it. He had to get down low.
he didn't have a lot of moments like that in this game because there just weren't a lot of shots between the sticks, I think.
yeah.
There was the one.
Exactly.
There was the Rafa goal, which I think, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know.
He got caught completely flat-footed on that.
I don't know
one.
if you can save that. That was like perfectly placed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what you do about something like that as a goalkeeper. I don't. Think
It was
you have
low.
much-
It was a hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it had a little swerve on it. No, there was no.
Yeah, I don't think
Nothing.
you can do.
Even
much
the
about
defender,
that.
he caught the defender and the keeper flat-footed on that one. Like neither one of them had. I don't even know if the keeper saw it coming. Anyway, left back for them, Mustafa Eski Helac, 27-year-old Turk, played opposite Pedro Malheiro, 24-year-old Portuguese right back.
Yeah.
In their midfield, they have Mondi. What's his first name?
Mendy,
Batista.
Mendy, yeah.
Batista Mendy.
It was
25-year-old
interesting, by the
French-
way, that Mustafa Eskielac played left back here. Eren Elmalı just left for Galatasaray, and Mustafa Eskielac is usually a winger. So interesting to see that Şenol Güneş put him at left back. Could have had 2 yellow cards, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Next to Mundi was Ozan Tufan, 29-year-old Turk, who everyone will recognize. He actually looked like he might have slimmed down a little bit, to his credit. Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he can see all he wants, man, as long as he keeps the Thunderbolts at home.
Yeah, he
To be
was
honest,
very good.
I think we only saw Ozan like during the game at all.
No, barely saw him.
Yeah, barely at all, in fact. He was a little impetuous on one, when they were ahead, like kind of wasting time and stuff. That was the only time I really noticed him, which is a good sign, typically. Up ahead of those two was Muhammed Cham. This is interesting. I had no idea. So his full name is Muhammed Cham Saracevic, which sounds like Bosnian or something.
Yeah.
He's actually Austrian. He's Austrian, 24-year-old. But yeah, pretty decent pickup from them, it seems.
I wonder if he's adopted or something.
Maybe there's something like that, or
doesn't he play for
multiracial?
Ghana or something? I don't know.
No, apparently he's an Austrian national, which
Okay.
maybe he's
Yeah,
multiracial.
and then there's
who
Kaplan and Özcan's favorite player. Don't forget him, because he was really good actually. I thought he was. Their best
are we
man.
talking about Visca?
I'm talking about Danilo.
Danilo.
Yeah,
Sikan?
Yeah.
Oh,
Danilo.
23-year-old Ukrainian. Okay, yeah. So he's their left winger. But typically I think he's more of a number 10. At least that's what FotMob lists him as. Ukrainian 23-year-old Danilo Sikan. Kartal, you want to say something about him? I wasn't aware that he was your favorite player.
Oh, it was just it's a joke Khan's making, man.
Everything you say can and will be used against you, bro, on the podcast.
What did he say? What happened?
So this guy's name is Danilo Sikan. See, when he first came to Trabzon in January, they asked him on TV, like, what do you go by? And he said, I go by Sik, and Sik means dick in Turkish, right? So before the game, I said that it would be embarrassing if we conceded a goal back from Sik.
I mean, fuck.
Yeah, Sik means fuck, but your Sik is your dick is at the same time. It's
It's deep. That's deep for me.
So Özcan, I think
Deep
Özcan yesterday said before the game said, "Man, I really hope we don't concede a goal from that guy."
Said that.
Oh, was it you? Yeah, it would be embarrassing to concede a goal from him. You say, come on, man. So, I mean, but he was good, man. I thought he was their best player.
Yeah, he was.
He doesn't have a good rating on FotMob for some reason. Maybe did he get like a card or something?
I don't know, but I thought
I don't think so.
Man, but he was kind of like he was skipping past. He was dribbling's good. He's fast.
He was a handful. I thought he was their best man. I really did.
Hey, man.
I think
statistically they're saying. So statistically, they're making the claim that their best player was the guy who I'd be naming next anyway. Of course, 35-year-old Bosnian Edin Viska, Bosnian and Herzegovinian. I don't know how to say that. Anyway, but so yeah, supposedly Viska had the man of the match for them. Although I think that's probably flavored by the goal that he scored, or no, the assist rather that he tallied for Banza. He got the assist. He was credited with it.
No,
and of course, the goal was credited to Mr. Simon Banza, 28-year-old Congolese striker.
Yeah.
Who is he having a good season for them?
Yeah, he's having a good season. I think it was his 14.
14 goals. Dang.
Yeah. What did you guys think of him, by the way? Because he was very annoying in the game in Trabzon. A lot of time wasting. A lot of gamesmanship. I feel
gamesmanship.
Like I feel like he belongs at a different club in Turkey, but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like he might have toned that down though, right? I didn't notice him as much this game. I mean, it was a pretty good goal that he scored, even if it was against the run of play. Yeah, I mean, of course, Rafa. We should probably mention it was Rafa Silva whose pass was really poor there. I don't really know what he was doing back there, so I mean, perhaps it's a credit to him that he made the effort to get back there and defend.
He lost
but
the ball.
Not if you're going to do that.
I think he was on the right at that point. I think he had switched with Rashica, and he lost the ball a little bit higher up the field, and he chased down the man and won it back. And then he gave probably one of the worst passes he's ever given in his career that then directly led to the goal. And of course, you know, in our wonderful group chat, not our amazing community, but in our private group chat, you know, the negative Nancys immediately started
the Boo Boys
spewing their garbage. You know, I turned my phone off, man. Like after I just thought to myself, nope, not gonna let myself get into a fucking argument with a bunch of negative Nancys. I'm just turning my phone off.
I noticed that you were very quiet during the match. I was wondering about that.
I did not look at my phone anymore after the goal that Trabzon scored, because even in our community chat, which is usually very full of lively and positive, I think, you know, when Beşiktaş concede in a match like this, like, you know, people tend to go negative really quickly, and it's
true. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I found myself often in the middle of matches just more focused on a WhatsApp group chat than on the match, because people are just, you know, Rafa, he's not worth 6 million, he's not worth it. Oh, why did we pay so much money for Rafa? And then, of course, he scores a wonderful goal in the second half, and nobody says a thing.
Suddenly, no apologies. That's the thing about hot takes, is they don't usually, when they're wrong, you don't usually get the hot apology afterwards.
I didn't say anything either. I was like, just like, yeah, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll say as a credit to the group that I'm in still these days, like a guy like Nasser, for example, is a great, and if he's listening, shouts to you. He's a great antidote to that type of thing, you know, because he's a bit of an outsider, and I think, you know, seeing a neutral almost perspective come in and be like, oh, well, Beşiktaş has definitely played the much better match, and they scored against the run of play, you know, like there's something that one can't even really argue with when someone like that steps in and says that. So he was a good antidote to some of that negativity, I'll say. So shouts to you, Nasser, wherever you are. I'll go. Let's do Beşiktaş's lineup quickly, so we can.
Oh, by the way, what did you think? By the way, Kertal, were you on the bandwagon of negativity? I don't think so, right?
I don't think I said anything, man.
Yeah. I mean,
you guys were both pretty quiet during the match.
Players are gonna make mistakes, man. Like, and sometimes something stupid like this happens. The best players do these kind of things. It's no reason to then like start chirping. I mean, this guy, at the end of the day now, man, 11 goals, 7 assists this season, 18 goal contributions in a very bad season.
Yeah.
And also, you need to remember, 5 of them have came since Solskjaer took over.
Yeah, he's
Five-
on the upswing too. Well, and look, guys, the term human error exists for a reason, right? This is something that happens to every human. It's very typical for people to make sort of boneheaded mistakes sometimes, right? It's nothing unique to Rafa at all. So yeah, I mean, that type of shit happens.
Yeah, I think we started this game really well. We did drop off a bit for that, but we came into the second half with the right mentality, and Rafa rectified his wrong very quickly.
Yeah,
the
I
goal
remember even saying he has to score now. He has to score to make up for that.
He does, yeah. And I definitely think the goal rattled us in the first half, and we didn't really bounce back super well from it because we did start well, and then we kind of, you know, and at Trabzon, I didn't think Trabzon were any good, honestly, because like they've been on a relatively good run in 2025. They started off the year quite well with a couple of big wins. You know, beat Eyüpspor last week even, and honestly, I had the feeling the entire game, like, if we're gonna drop points here, it's gonna be our own fault. It's not gonna be because Trabzon were better today.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the way that we sort of put our tail between our legs after we let that goal get scored, a sharper team might have been able to take advantage of that. But, I mean, again, to our credit, our defense was solid throughout the match, regardless of how anything else was going. So, I mean, again, credit to those guys in the back. Felix and Emirhan, it's almost getting hard to say that Gabriel Palista needs to go right back into the lineup at this point. But we can talk about that later. Let's do this lineup real quick. Mert Günok in goal, of course. He only got a 6.2 rating, I wonder.
Didn't have much work, man.
Yeah, but usually that would be, you just get like the 6.5 is the standard. Like
I
to
think
be,
he had
to be deducted. Maybe the goal he allowed was viewed as, I don't remember.
I don't think he could have done much.
I don't think
about
so.
that.
Yeah, it was like one-on-one.
I think he had a couple of. Didn't he come out for like late in the game? He came out and collected the ball under pressure a few times to alleviate that pressure from Trabzonspor. So. For me,
I'm surprised.
This was.
That's why I'm surprised.
I don't know. I think I don't have anything negative to say about Mert's performance in this game, honestly. You know, I love to say negative shit.
I mean, you're not among the. You're not even in the bottom half.
I'm usually pretty harsh on Mert, man. No, but
on Mert. Oh, on Mert. Yeah.
I'm
not in general though. But sure.
I tend to be pretty harsh on Mert, and like I have nothing negative to say. I think he did what he did. He brought serenity. Serenity now, and I think he's been good all season for the most part, except for that Ajax game where he fucked it, and he had a couple of mad moments, but for the most part, he's been good, and he earned the contract extension, and I was a little bit fearful that he'd drop off after he got the new contract, but
not so far.
No.
It's a credit to him. No, and that's why I was surprised, because I don't think he did anything that would have merited kind of point deduction. My only guess is maybe he had some like sloppy passes or something that didn't really affect the run of play very much, but just he rung up some negative stats that didn't matter. Anyway, the back line, of course, Emirhan Topçu on the right side, Felix on the left, or they have it listed as the opposite on B.
No, yeah, Felix was on the left. Yeah.
I thought so too. Yeah.
Felix plays on the left.
Yeah, Arthur Masuaku, of course, left back, given man of the match rating for his assist, I suppose. Jonas Svensson, I thought was really solid again. Great to see him retain that form that we've seen prior. Jedson Fernandes was in the game again, running his balls off. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain played next to him. Came under a lot of criticism from people, but I wondered about that. I don't really feel like he merited it. Obviously, he didn't play as well as he did in the match prior, right? Because he was quite good.
I thought he was okay. Nothing special.
Yeah, he didn't do anything bad, but I mean, I remember seeing a couple plays where he'd do a pretty decent move on the ball to sort of bring it into space, so we could kind of maintain possession. Type of things where we hadn't seen prior, and we've sort of lost it in the middle of the field.
I think if you're given the choice of out of these three that are playing right now, who's the first one you take out when you, for example, want to put in Elan Ricardo, or if you want to move Rafa back to the 10 or something like that, then it's going to be Ox, right? Like, because as Kartal said, Joao Mario has really been performing better and better each game under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This might have been his best match.
Yeah, and so I guess here's the question: do I mention him next? Is he the 10, or is Rafa Silva the 10?
No, Joao Mario was definitely the 10 here. Rafa was
Yeah, I
playing
thought so
mostly on the
too.
wing. Yeah.
It's interesting. Usually Fatmob has it off, but this time they seem to be doing a little bit better than being. But yeah, Joao Mario played in that role at the top of the midfield and was absolutely fantastic this match. Great bringing the ball down, holding it, getting other players involved. I mean, he was good all around. And yeah, as Cartel said, it's just been building now too. So
what I will say in fairness to BN and follow of it, I feel like see that kind of the three of them. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of
interchange.
interchange.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I didn't see Rashica coming into the middle, but I saw Rafa come in the middle. I saw Mario drift out wide. I saw Rashica and Rafa switch sides and stuff like that. Like there was a lot of free flowing, interchanging movement there, which is nice because that type of thing can really throw an opponent off if you do it properly.
Yeah. I mean that's.
And look, if Rashica started on the right side and was the one who crossed that ball in for Cheeto's head in the 5th minute or whatever it was, that suggests exactly what you're talking about, right? There's certainly a lot of fluidity up top.
Yeah, and
which
not
is,
just that,
when you have
the
dynamic
goal.
players, you want that, right?
The 1-1, it's Rafa is left completely unmarked in the box, and that's because of the constant changing of position. And this is something that Adrian Souza pointed out as well, that Joao Mario and Rafa did a lot of that at Benfica, and I think that's something that we were doing this a little bit already under Giovanni, and a little bit of interchanging here and there, but it's a lot more pronounced now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I feel. So that's definitely something that he has put more of an emphasis on, and it's been working out great, I think. Carlo just said, 5 goal contributions since Solskjaer took over.
Yeah, so Solskjaer's had 6 games. Obviously, Rafa was suspended last week, so in 5 games played under Solskjaer's 3 goals and 2 assists.
Yeah. So on the wings, of course, there's so there being is listing Rashica as the right winger. Fatmob actually has him listed as the left winger, which I'm guessing is perhaps a sign of the fact that he spent more time on the left wing than on the right, regardless of where he was originally assigned. But Joao Mario is listed as the left winger. Although we've already agreed that that's actually Rafa Silva. And then, of course, Cheeto Immobile up top. So that's our lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Joao Mario, I think that's the one we're talking about. Let's talk about him now, because very heavily criticized for months now. Got a lot of backlash from fans, got a lot of backlash from media. And you have to give the guy props, because he's really come into his own in the last couple of games, and fans are starting to embrace him more and more. You're seeing a lot more positivity about him in social media. You're seeing positivity in the stadium. I do still think it's a little, it's still, honeymoon phase maybe, or how should I put it? I think it's still a little prone, a bad game can change that, but he is definitely building up a little bit of credit.
For sure.
I don't know, man. He must have made a New Year's resolution to get on side with the Beşiktaş fans, because I think he's gotten better since Raul's came, but I think we're starting to see glimpses even after the turn of the year under Serdar Toprak in a couple of the games. But he's worked on that. He's improved on it game after game, and especially these last 2 games, man. Mario's been one of the best players on the pitch.
What? Can I give you a hot take though?
Yeah, why not?
I don't think he's that much better than he was under Giovanni van Bronckhorst. I think he's maybe 10-15% better. Remember back then I was saying he's never bad. I mean, other than maybe 1 or 2 games, he's never bad. He's just bland. There's not you can see it's a good football player, but he isn't really adding that little extra oomph to his game. And now he's playing 10-15% better, and suddenly he's contributing to goals. He's just, I mean, even then, I think very rarely lost the ball, always very secure on the ball. Didn't take a lot of risks in his passing. Maybe he's got a little bit more confidence now. He's taking a little bit more risks in what he's trying to do. I don't know if you've noticed as well, he's popping up in the box. He's infiltrating more often. So he's definitely grown a little bit, or 10, 15%, whatever. But I don't think he's that much better than he was early on. I think people were overly critical of him. And understandably so, because, he was brought in as the solution for the wing, which he clearly isn't. Even though when he's playing in the way he's playing now, where he's interchanging constantly with Rafa and with Rashica and all that kind of stuff, it does work to an extent. But yeah, I don't think he was ever really bad. I think people just were too harsh, had expectations that, weren't realistic perhaps.
And I mean, another aspect is that I think the rest of the team is functioning at a higher level too, and I think a guy like him, right, he's gonna sort of feed off of how the team is performing at any given time, more than a lot of other guys, because I think his game is sort of reliant on other players making runs, on other players showing attacking intent, because he's gonna kind of link play, and if no one's doing that,
he's adding maturity as well, though, because
for sure, and his level-headedness is obviously
in this game. For example, when we needed, at the end, usually a match like this, for us, for Beşiktaş fans, we know very well how it goes. When you're 1 goal up, and it's the last 5, 6, 10 minutes of the match, you're always nervous, you're always biting your nails. And there were definitely some moments of, like that interception from Tayyip, which was really good. Which was in the 88th minute or something, or the 87th minute or whatever it was. But for the most part, we were able to play out this game with relative ease, without too much stress. And I think a lot of that was guys like João Mario, but also Mucci when he came on. He brought in some... Mucci came on and he brought some ball retention. He didn't take stupid risks. He was able to... get to the Trabzonspor end and waste, not waste time, but win seconds, and that's how we were able to see out the game relatively comfortably. I mean, I thought.
Let me do some comments here. So let's dive in. Finish kebab. First of all, Jason, good evening to you. Ozkan, go Beşiktaş.
Get well soon, Oscar.
I hope your toe is doing all right, man. I to be honest, I didn't download that picture. I didn't really want to. I didn't want to see whatever you were dishing up there.
Man. Poor guy.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
The description of when he described what he did, I knew I didn't know names in Austria. I guess that's about what's his name in Cham, but sorry. Yes, and I'm not sure if I can reconstruct that sentence in good English. I didn't even tell you guys, so I've been freaking sick this weekend. I had a flu. The match I watched, of course. I stumbled out of bed to watch, but yeah, I've had the cold shivers. I think I had a flu or something. So
me too, man. I had a couple of days of that as well the last week or so.
I was terrified that I had the bird flu, and apparently cats die if they can catch it from us. So
yeah,
I was ready to go on a John Wick murder spree if my cats died because I got fucking bird flu. So anyway, back to the comments. Mario Vargas, yo, what up, Eagles? What's going on, Mario? He says you're right. I'm sure we were, but I don't know what you're talking about. Mario, it was a one-off from Rafa. To be fair. It was a one-off from Rafa. What was a one-off? You suppose the goal that he scored?
I think the mistake, yeah.
The bad day, maybe, yeah.
I mean, I don't think Rafa was bad, but I don't think he was great either. I mean, he scored a brilliant goal, but he wasn't as involved as I'd like him to be.
He has the ability to make some careless passes, and usually it's up ahead, and he's trying to do something a little fancy.
Yeah, but there's,
but it's
okay
balanced
there.
with such great plays. Yeah, exactly. It's only you're only going to really notice it when it happens in the back, and
you have to take risks, and you have to have people up top who are willing to take risks, and up there it's fine, but at the back you can't make those types of mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. Grey Wolf, I felt the team was dominant for most of the game. It was a positive control game for the most part, except for some mistakes. Among them, one of them caused the goal, which we discussed, the Rafa Silva one. It happens. Beşiktaş definitely deserved to win. I agree, Grey Wolf. I think we probably all agree with that sentiment. He said Trabzon was not threatening except for some occasions. Yeah, which we've also sort of talked about. Granted, the lineup screen was up, so we didn't see your guys' comments. But we obviously agree. I agree with Khan. Trabzonspor was seriously nothing special that night. This is Mario, and he says, nice Seinfeld reference. That must be the Serenity now, I'm guessing. That's Costanza, right? Costanza's dad. Serenity now! That's my best Stiller. I think so. What's the actor's name? It's Ben Stiller's dad. Jerry Stiller? Serenity now! That's my best impression. Just recently. Yeah. I mean, that's recent for old timers like us, I guess. Grey Wolf. Thoughts of subbing Mustafa in instead of Semi? Rashica should have been subbed out earlier. Thoughts of not using Kenny at least for the last 20 or so minutes? A Twitter guy. Oh no. Khan, you're muted. How long is that going?
It's not my day, man. I don't know. You guys were muted at the start of the show. It's really annoying because like technical stuff. Anyway, so according to Emre Can, some guy on Twitter, I read before the game that that Kenny and Jetson actually got into some sort of collision in training, like a hard tackle or something during the last training before the match. And Kenny got hurt and they had to take him to the hospital for an MRI. And apparently it wasn't anything too serious, but if that's true, that's probably the reason why they didn't risk him. I think I would imagine if he was fit, if he was 100% fit, he would have played at least a couple of minutes, at least 10-15 minutes or so. So especially there was a moment where I think we were 2-1 up and we had a couple of really good counter opportunities with Rashica, where I thought, I think if that was Kenny, that would have been a lot more dangerous.
Probably do something.
Rashica tends to take the speed out of our attacks, man. Like,
yeah.
Immobile
almost banged one in at the end there too. I mean, we should probably have this conversation now since you brought it up. But I thought it was, it made me feel really good to see that we have a coach who has some tactical variability, some flexibility. He, at the end of the game, switched to a 3-man back line to kind of shut out this game. But rather than that implying, we're going to park the bus and be a completely neutered side as a product of that. In fact, it was quite the opposite. What happened was we were very much in shape to take possession of this match by doing that. And then we ended up creating even more chances in that period than we had in the sort of 15 or 20 minutes prior, I thought. So massive credit to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for doing that, for having that ability, for a club that's, people have discussed whether or not previous coaches have had a plan B and all of that. There's clearly no debate about Ole's ability to do that. So that was really great to see. And as you mentioned, Khan, Tayyip Talha coming in and, cutting out a key pass there late in the game. It was good to see.
Yeah. He came on in the
not there. Go ahead, sorry.
He came on in the 86th minute, and when I saw the sub, it was Tayyip for Rafa. I wasn't too thrilled with it, honestly, because it kind of felt like, oof, are we going to invite...
negative.
Well, because you're taking a man out up top, and you're putting an extra defender on. And at that point, I thought Trabzon were pushing quite a bit. And usually when it kind of has the opposite effect. You're like, another body in the box. It's going to be harder for them to score, blah, blah, blah. But usually what it means is you take a man out from up top, and you reduce your ability to alleviate pressure, and therefore you're just inviting more and more pressure upon you because you don't have any people up top able to keep the ball, or go on a break, or move the play, almost like in American football where you move up so
Like
many yards.
incrementally.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what it usually tends to lead to, and it didn't. But I have to admit, like, when I saw the sub, I wasn't too happy with it. I think a lot of people weren't, but then when ultimately you saw the outcome of it, it actually turned out to be a good tactical decision.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. And it's good to see Tayyip Talha. This is what I was going to say, is that Nasser had said that Ole has a tendency of like trying to rehabilitate players and kind of, especially on the mental side. And I think a lot of us felt like Tayyip Talha was a good transfer when he arrived. He played well for a moment.
Yeah.
And then obviously the terrible injury. And I think at least I've always felt that what he's lacked since the injury is mostly mental, right? It's that fear of going in for that tackle, knowing that you could get injured again. He's been injured since already. He just seems more timid. He's like less willing to kind of get in the mix.
Maybe. But when
when
we first got him,
there.
like, I had the exact same vibes as I have with Emirhan now. Like, Emirhan to me right now is like, I just hope he stays healthy, because if he, like, I have the feeling with Emirhan right now, it's like, that's how I felt about Tayyip when he first came and when he was fit. And I just, I'm just hoping, I'm just praying every time that, like, he doesn't like tear his ACL or something, because Emirhan to me is a really good Turkish player. He's like, he's really good, man. I really, really like him. And I really hope he stays healthy, because I feel really sorry when I see Tayyip nowadays, because I think Tayyip and Emirhan could have been the Turkish national team's duo at the back for the next decade, because they're both,
Yeah, I mean we've said that, and I think it's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, nonetheless, it's good to see Ole sort of investing in Tayyip, and for anyone who's still hoping for him to sort of regain that form, it's a long shot, I would say, but if it's possible, Nasser says it's a guy like Ole who's going to get us there, so we'll see. It's going to require a lot of health and a lot of staying healthy, which we've yet to see from him, so I don't know. But anyway, it's a good shot. I thought he came in and played well for a moment there.
I thought you wanted to say something, I think.
Yeah, it was just a shame that what happened with Tayyip. I think there's even been times since he's came back that he's looked fine, but again, he maybe has looked timid on occasion as well. And unfortunately, he's just not really been able to stay healthy thus far.
Yeah.
So if he can maintain that and continues to get minutes, who knows, maybe at some point he can get close to where he was before the injury. But as Sinan says, he's got a long way to go yet.
Yeah.
He was Emirhan before Emirhan, He was the young Turkish centre-back. Would I say Emirhan, I think, maybe does have a higher ceiling, I think.
I don't know. Now, yes, but before, Emirhan has really good feet, I guess. I mean, for a Turkish player, Turkish centre-back.
Emirhan had quite a lot of good forward passes, by the way.
Mm-hmm. So did Felix. I think, wasn't it Felix who opened up to Masuaku for the 1-1, I think?
Beautiful long ball on the ground up the left side for Masuaku to run onto. Yeah.
And I actually saw a stat, now talking about that, I'm pretty sure Felix has the most passes out of any centre-back in the league.
Yeah, the highest passing accuracy, I think. I saw
that's
something
funny,
like
because
that.
people say that's like his weakness, and I've always felt I don't know.
I mean, you can be a very accurate passer and not necessarily be the best ball playing, because like it's easy to give lateral passes, it's easy to give simple passes, right? Like
sure, no, but I still don't think it's an accurate criticism of his. I think he's done plenty of.
I think he's good enough at it, kind of like how Marcelo was good enough at it. I don't think he's exceptional. He's no Victor Ruiz or anything like that, But he's.
Or even.
Sorry.
Or even a Paulista.
Yeah. Paulista had a couple of really good passes early on, but I feel like Felix has had those passes too, but obviously in a larger sample size. So for Paulista, because it's a smaller sample size, it does look a little bit more pronounced, perhaps, but. Yeah, maybe Paulista is a better ball playing, but that doesn't mean that Felix isn't good at it. That doesn't mean that Emirhan isn't good at it. I think both of them are at least a 6.5 when it comes to like ball playing ability. And like for example, like Tosic, who you would have expected to be a good ball playing central defender because he played as left back for so long as he did in his career. Like that to me, like that was like a 5, man. Like, you know, his ball playing ability was really poor.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
See what the stat was, Can. So he's the player in the Super League that has the most accurate passes per game.
Yeah.
So it's 50.7 accurate passes per game on average. So that obviously that doesn't mean that they're progressive passes, but still it does mean something. That it does mean that he is the player in the league that's got the most accurate passes per 90. So that is a metric that he can be praised off of as well. And I think the best thing about this guy is he's just a fearless, very good defender. I think that's his best attribute.
Yeah. I mean, Lyon, I think he probably left an imprint on a lot of us, right? That effort he made.
Yeah, but not just Lyon, you know.
Yeah, I just, you know, the way he was so enthusiastic and like
that was
team motivated, and like it was a moment where you got the feeling like maybe this guy could be like a leader for this team.
That was definitely his most you know, his biggest moment necessarily. But I think, you know, I've said this last week, I think like every big result this season has been, bar the Super Cup, has been with Felix and Emirhan at the back together. And in every single one of those matches, they've played a solid game. You know, Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, even though we lost that game against Galatasaray, I thought they completely neutralized Victor Osimhen for 90 minutes. He scored. I know he scored on a set piece, but like from open play, they had him completely locked down. Against Fener, I think they did an excellent job. Emirhan did an amazing save on the line. Against Athletic Club, they were amazing. Against Lyon, they were amazing. You know, even against Twente, even though we lost that game again, like they weren't the ones to blame there, you know. And here again against Trabzon, I think, you know, solid match. Like this is a really reliable duo, and there's a reason why we are one of the teams in the league with the least amount of goals conceded, despite the fact that we've had so much trouble at the back with injuries and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Not as much as Fenerbahce, we're pointing out. Sinan, I know there's still comments to do, but would you mind if we go to the stats first? Because I feel like...
Yeah, it's true. We haven't... I think they'll keep coming. Yeah. The chat will keep growing. So anyway... oh, wow. That's a bit of a surprise.
Maybe in the meantime, while we do the stats, we can already get people's thoughts. Guys, what is your takes on Ugurcan getting booed, getting cursed at, getting jeered, getting all the hate from our home support? What do you guys think about that? And what do you think about Trabzonspor's reaction as well afterwards? Let us know in the comments while we do the stats here.
Baby brained fools. Okay, anyway, our opponent had cartels on mute. Okay. Our opponent had 51% of the ball. That's a bit of a surprise. I'm trying to think about how that's even possible.
That's just because of the end of the game, man. Because
because they were behind. Yeah,
you know, they were pressing for
the goal
at that point.
Mm-hmm. Even still, I'm a bit surprised because it felt like we were rather in control of this one. But I guess that doesn't always equate to possession, as we see.
It's 51%. It's not 70%.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. XG was equal, 0.89 each.
That surprises me, actually.
That doesn't make... Again, that's the Galatasaray guy's handiwork, I'm sure. That is my conspiracy theory. Because, we had 12 shots to their 6, 3 on target to their 1. Right, none of this is spelling what that XG is trying to lay out for us there. Apparently, we both had 2 big chances, and we both missed one of them. I'm trying to remember their second. I don't think they had a chance as good as Chiro's, volley that he put into Ugurcan, or the header that he missed, or the Rafa save, in the beginning of the match. I can't think of a single chance they had as good as any of those.
I don't know. Maybe Kartal, can you think of any chances for Trabzon that really where you thought we maybe...
Besides their goal.
Cham had an excellent chance at the end of the first half.
Oh yeah, that was queued up and it was a volley, right?
It wasn't
It was
volley,
a
I
set
think
piece.
It was a set piece. It was a first time shot.
That's what. But it was kind of in the air, wasn't it? A volley? Wasn't it kind of bouncing towards him? Maybe it was on the ground. Maybe it was on the ground. Yeah. But yeah, that was a chance, I guess. But still, it was.
And they had a chance.
A big chance because that was a set piece. There was a bunch of defenders in front of him. Like I would say that Immobile's 2 are better than that. Well, maybe not the header.
Header was a good chance, I thought.
It was a good header in the box. Where was Rafa's shot from? Was that from within the box?
I thought that was
right?
on the edge of the box, in the box, yeah. I think it was in.
Yeah, it was inside.
Yeah, this is the Galatasaray guy's handiwork, the statistician. This has to be.
But I don't know if you can call it a big chance, though, because that's like, you know...
My honest opinion is, I think next G's about right, in my opinion.
The XG? You think it was equal?
Yeah, I think it's about right. Like, I think we, for the most part, dictated the tempo of the game and were the better team. But in terms of sheer like creating chances off of shots, I think it was about equal, in my opinion.
We've listed it more like we've listed like 4 chances to us to
I can count
2 to them.
Banza, the one they scored, that one for Cham. There was one for Lundstrom in the second half near the end, and there was another one where one of the, I think it was like one of the Serbian guys that came on, or
Ukrainian guys probably.
Yeah, maybe Ukrainian, somewhere around that area. He had a shot that was blocked, and then Banza was blocked. That was a decent chance as well. So I can count about 4 positions for us and roughly about 4 for them as well. So I think the XG is quite right, but I do think we had a lot of potential chances where we missed that last pass, or like the one, for example, where Mario he takes it past the keeper, but the touch is a bit heavy and it goes out. Stuff like that. Like we had these kind of situations that they didn't have. But in terms of like chances that like resulted in shots, I think that XG is quite accurate, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree. I still feel like we had better chances, but yeah, it's not worth like a debate. I don't think. Accurate passes, we completed 378 to their 360. They completed at a higher rate, 83% to our 80. We each committed 16 fouls. They were offsides once. We were not offsides. We had 8 corners to their 1. So I guess we were sort of looming in their box a little bit more than the other way around in that sense. But how about those duels, Cartel?
So for the duels, we won 58% of them, 61 to 45. Ground duels, we won 40 to 33. We won 55% of them. Aerial duels, we really destroyed them on the duels, man. 21 to 12. Yeah. We won 60% of them. Successful dribbles, we done 12 at a 60% accuracy rate. So that means maybe we tried about 20. They had 6 successful dribbles, which is really a lot worse than ours. They completed that at 55% clip, so that tells you maybe they tried 11. Yellow cards, 2 for us, 3 for them. And there was no red cards in the game at all.
That's probably good. Yeah. That's all there is to really say about that. Is any sort of conclusive remarks on the match?
Yeah, we dictated the game for the most part.
Grey Wolf. No, not Grey Wolf. There was some agreement that João Mario was good. Grey Wolf says that Jedson was the man of the match. He said that more impressive is seeing clips of post-match of Ole saying all the right things for the future. Ole, saying all the right things for the future, and you can see he's very genuinely happy with the club so far. Yeah, if that's true. I didn't see that, but if that's true, that's
the main thing for me is that he's saying the right things and we're seeing some stuff on the field, because last year under Santos.
You're muted again, Cam.
He was saying all the right things. Santos was saying all the right things last year, but we weren't seeing any of it on the pitch. But with Ole, he's saying the right things. He's talking very nicely about the club and its culture, its philosophy, stuff like that. And we're actually seeing some positive things on the pitch. So yeah, very promising so far from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, especially considering where we were for a couple of months, man, before he came.
Yeah,
I'm really hoping that we can go on a bit of a run, beat Eup, win a third game in a row. If we win the fourth game in a row, then see if we get to the point where we've won 3-4 games in a row. I think we can really seriously thinking about, we're going to end third, hopefully. And I hope that's the case. Because I do not want to see another season where we're like 5th or 6th, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see that again. So if these couple of wins in a row can be the turning point, and if we can have a strong close to the season and end in like 3rd place, I think we can all be quite excited for the future.
Yeah.
Why not both, Can?
Yeah, there we go. That's a good answer. Come on.
Got to my head, let's say 4th in the cup then. But I want 3rd in the cup.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes, Con. I'm just kidding. But no, my feeling about the match, to wrap things up as far as this goes, is I feel like Trabzonspor is always kind of a bellwether match for us, you know, and it's a real indication of where we are. You know, you're guaranteed to get a competitive match out of them. It seems like no matter where either of our clubs are at any given time. They're saying you're still muted, Con, and now, yeah, I don't know. But
Fuck me.
I'm getting like private messages.
Oh.
But yeah, so I feel like Trabzonspor is a bellwether in that sense, in that, you know, beating them is always a really good sign, especially when we beat them in the way that we did. I mean, I agree that I think people who are saying I was like, you know, dominant match from our end. Maybe that's a little overspoken. You know, maybe people are getting a little carried away, but I think it's great that we're in a position where our fans are getting carried away again, if anything, because, I mean, we did play well. That can't really be debated. And we got the 3 points. So, yeah, I mean, I think it spells good things for us. And I agree that I agree with Kartal that I think it really indicates that we're in competition for 3rd place again. And I'd love to see that be true.
Well,
obviously, we'll get vindications pretty soon.
How far are we behind 3rd place? We're quite a bit behind.
5 points. 5 points.
Only 5 points. All right. Let's start talking about because guys, it's getting late, so we'll have to start talking about this. So obviously during the match there was a lot of to do about Ugurcan, the goalkeeper from Trabzonspor. And Trabzonspor weren't too happy about it. Beşiktaş fans booed him, jeered him the entire game. Very noticeable booing, even swearing at his mother, which I think, you know,
that's never called for.
It's never called for. And Trabzonspor set out this statement. So let me just, you know, for those of you.
Translate it for us.
Let's get the translation out here, Sinan, if you would like to read it, perhaps.
Sorry, blowing my nose there. So this is from Ertuğrul Doğan, the Trabzonspor's Başkan. This is our team captain and our national team's main goalkeeper, which is already sort of sort of presumptive, I think you could say.
That's the thing. Like, I think they have a point of being upset, but like, this is Turkey, where you can't just make a valid point without also being extremely cringeworthy and exaggerating and like, yeah.
I mean, just like I mean, you know, I don't know, and maybe it's like the sports culture that I'm in, but like Knicks fans are still screaming "fuck Trae Young" whenever he plays against us. Like, I mean, part of me feels like if Trabzonspor wants to treat us like they're a rival, which is already again sort of presumptuous on their end, then they kind of have to expect to be treated in this manner to some extent. And look, there are certain curses that are obviously going too far.
Saying fuck Trey Young's a bit different from saying I'm going to fuck ass.
No, yeah, I'm not excusing that one.
Yeah, and also,
insult.
I mean,
but I'm assuming that's not like the whole crowd was saying that, right? I'm sure that's sort of one.
Yeah, but I mean,
that is the chant. That's the chant scene on the chant.
Oh, they were chanting
but
at your mom.
But why are we booing Ugurcan Çakır? Because of this. I mean, I think we all share this prejudice where we think, okay, against Beşiktaş he always tends to go in God mode. He plays his best game of his season against us. Although to be fair, last week against Eyüpspor he was God mode as well. That's not against Beşiktaş, but like I think there's this very broadly accepted assumption among us Beşiktaş fans where we always think Ugurcan plays the best game of his season against us, and then against Galatasaray he lets goals in.
Shits the bed.
He lets goals in for free, you know. And that's our narrative, and I'm not disagreeing with it because I myself have that. Like I kind of think that. Because although, to be fair, I think he had a good game against Galatasaray this last one, despite the fact that he conceded 4 and lost. But I don't think that's a valid reason to hound someone for 90 minutes. I think it's fine to like boo him a little bit, but like I think we took it too far, honestly.
I have to know more about the context then. Because look, from my honest thing is like booing. Booing the opponent is like you can whistle the entire time they have the ball if you want. That's not out of bounds. Like you can boo every player on that team.
Yeah, but it was focused on him specifically, and like the argument is, oh yeah, but it's not because he plays well against us. It's because he always does stuff to provoke our fans. But like, I don't know, man. What does he do? Like, does he really do?
It's not. Unless there's stuff in the stadium that we're not seeing on camera.
Yeah, but I think there's
a lot of context that I'm missing.
Don't you think there would be like cell phone footage of him doing that kind of stuff though? Like there's 42,000 people in the stadium with a cell phone. Don't you think somebody would like have like very clear video footage?
I mean, I'm not on
what
Twitter,
he's doing
so I
that's
can't
so
say.
Offensive.
I can't say if there is such a thing or not. But is there anyone defending the on the fan side? Is there anyone defending their actions with actual proof?
Our fans say, well, we did it because he's always, you know, provoking and stuff like that. But I don't think he does anything that's transgressional. I'm not saying
This point from Billy is important. And where he says, how ironic that very same team's fans hopped onto the pitch and beat a referee a few years ago and attacked a bunch of players last
100%.
year. Like, we're
gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
Right? Like, there's certainly a whole ton of hypocrisy. Not to mention they were attacking national team, main national team players in their positions. You know.
Yeah, let's not. I mean, look, I'm not talking about like obviously.
With the freaking flag.
Trabzonspor here are being a bunch of butthurts little girls, a bunch of hypocrites. Like, I mean, the main goalkeeper from the national team, blah, blah, blah. As if Volkan Demirel wasn't the main goalkeeper of the national team. I never, it's not like he was received hospitably in Trabzon. I mean, a little bit of different context, to be fair. And Volkan was always a provocateur and a little bit of a cunt and all that kind of stuff. So he definitely deserved it more than Ugurcan does, I think.
Didn't they shoot the team bus? Like
Yeah. So Trabzon have no rights. They have no right whatsoever to be offended. However, I think this is beneath Beşiktaş and Beşiktaş fans. I think Beşiktaş fans don't need to do this. I think this kind of makes you small.
At least what it does is it feeds into the narrative that they're proposing that they're a rival of ours, and I think most Beşiktaş fans will feel like they're not good enough to merit that.
Son, they're not Bursaspor, man. Of course they're a rival. They're like a historical rival. I don't see why.
Really? Like rival?
Of course.
I don't.
Like Fenerbahçe
I don't
and
consider Trabzon a rival.
Rivals. No, of course they're a rival. Of course.
I mean, everyone's a rival when you play on the pitch, but like I have nothing personal to say about Trabzon.
Don't put these guys in the same in the same conversation as a Fenerbahce or a Galatasaray. And I agree.
Yeah.
No, of course not. But they're still a rival. They're more a rival to us than Bursaspor are. What you're saying is describing Bursaspor, a team that literally just clamped onto us. Trabzonspor are still a 7-time, some would argue 8-time Turkish champion. They've been at the top of Turkish football since they reached the Super League in the 70s. So I mean, you need to give them some modicum of respect. I think. I feel like you're a little.
For me, Origin's going to be regional or competitive, and I feel like, we've got 3 stars to their 1 right now. Like, I don't know, I don't feel like they've reached our level competitively to really, to I don't know, whatever.
It's not their fault that in the years that they won a lot of trophies that we weren't competing. That's not their fault.
Yeah, but I think that's. Well, anyway, it's semantics, I suppose. Because I think as long as you agree that they're not a rival.
Well,
for me, Fener and Galatasaray are rivals.
They're not Fenerbahce or Galatasaray to us, but they're still a rival. I mean, they're one of the 4 big clubs in Turkey, and I think they deserve that recognition.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a distant fourth though. Like,
oh yeah.
I'd say it's like, if you were to say, it's like the Istanbul teams and Trabzon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And often you'll hear like foreigners will be like the top 3, the big 3. You know what I mean? In Turkey, we talk about the big 4, right? So, I don't know. I guess I'm just not willing to give them as much credit as you are. But whatever, it is what it is.
Well, I just, my father always says, don't pick a fight with a Trabzonlu because they never leave the house without a gun. So I'm trying to save you. I'm just trying to save you some trouble here, Sinan. You might have some crazy.
That Coleman guy is gonna show up at my door.
Coleman's bandana is gonna come after you if you don't be careful.
Show up at my door with a gun, shoot my bus on my way to work. No, okay. That's. I don't even have a beef. I typically I'll support Trabzon when they're playing our rivals. But yeah, it is what it is.
I'd much rather have Trabzon win the league this season. Let me put it.
Yeah,
any season that it's Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, or Trabzon, I'll gladly support Trabzon.
And I have no trouble at all rooting for Trabzonspor when they're in Europe, for example.
They make it hard sometimes though because of how fucking boneheaded their fans are.
For sure.
It's
kind of like Ankara Gücü in some ways.
Yeah, exactly. Somehow last season they made me feel sympathy to an extent for Fenerbahce. I just thought you fucking deserve.
That shit was terrible.
Your fans deserve to get beaten up, man. Like bitch ass idiots going after a bunch of players. Like of course they deserve to get their heads kicked in. I mean, and
they've done some pretty shitty things.
It takes a lot for me to say, Fener were in the right there. I thought Fener were kind of in the right there, to be honest. Even then, they acted like they were the victim. Let's not forget that. It's
of course,
yeah, and that's kind of the same thing here. They're just.
But I'd be hard pressed to root for Galatasaray or Fener.
Of course, no.
That's not the case with them. That's all I'm saying.
Let's
anyway,
see what the people say.
So back to the chat. More impressive. We did that. Jerry Stiller, Mario. Thank you for the. We got that right. May he rest in peace. Indeed. Grey Wolf, you're muted. Oh yeah, the mute. Thanks guys for all that. By the way, for the technical help. Grey Wolf wanted us to answer this question. By the way, about whether we thought Mustafa should have been subbed in rather than Semi. In answer to your question, Grove, we did not actually respond to that. It's not because Con was muted.
In hindsight, I think Kasemi was so bad when he came on. But honestly, I have to be honest. Every time Mustafa's come on, I know he won a penalty last week. But I feel like Mustafa doesn't convince me either, man. And usually, at least Semi has some good passes in him. This was one of his worst sub appearances. I thought he just didn't. I don't remember a single moment where I thought, oh yeah, he did good there. He just fucked everything up. I felt like, but I don't know if Mustafa would have done much better, honestly. So I don't really, I don't have an opinion on it.
Yeah, I don't know that I do either, to be honest. I mean, It's certainly noteworthy that the club is elevating Mustafa lately, with the Kenny signing and all that, as, a big prospect to, it seems like Ole, especially, I assume, is the one who's promoting him as such, like as someone with a lot of promise, and that he, sees that potential in, but, it's still yet to be seen on the pitch, so I'm not going to get too excited about Semi or Mustafa until one of them really stands out. It's like, that guy needs to play.
Yeah.
Was that about playing instead of Semi?
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I've heard that Mustafa is really, they expect him to be a really big thing, as well as Semi, but
physically.
I still think Mustafa looks very Robin. I think he's got a long way to come.
Yeah.
His ball control's bad. I think he doesn't. Either he's not fit or he doesn't know how to breathe properly. I think when he's playing, because it seems like he's out of breath very quickly. So it seems like maybe he's not fit or he's not managing his breathing properly. Maybe it's to do with overexcitement. There's that, and I think he looks rough as well.
Point. Yeah.
His touch is off. Okay, he's fast. He's not really doing much. He's not showing any dribbling ability.
He kind of gets bullied as well, Cathal, don't you think? He has this 186, 87 frame. He has a good build, but I feel like he gets bullied by defenders.
Yeah, he needs to use his body
That
better.
does not happen to Semi. He doesn't get bullied. He does the bullying, even though sometimes.
I mean, in his defense, I think that's why his penalty thing was the penalty earned was sort of impressive, because it seemed like he was actually using his body well for a change, right? But that's definitely a fault.
I think right
especially
now,
given he looks like he should be. Yeah, I agree.
He's also 2 years older, to be fair, or 1.5 years older. So you expect him to be further ahead.
Something like that.
Mustafa, theoretically, athletically
so
more gifted, but technically, I don't know.
Then there's Ugurcan stuff from Yasin. We already covered that, though. Trabzonspor are not rivals of our never were. Billy Erdogan, how ironic. Yeah, we did that. Okay, crack out the sardines from Atil Can. Good to see you here, Atil, by the way. Not a derby, but rivalry, so he agreed with Ugurcan. Jason says, Bursa are funny to me. Oh, we've got a new commenter. New commenter. Fucking A, Sally. New commenter. Hatem Benarda. Hatem Benarda.
That's a great name, man.
Hatem Benarda. Yeah, it's. I see what we're doing here. And he says champion Beşiktaş. Yeah, that's a little ambitious, perhaps.
Maybe next season, if you consider the cup champion, maybe we can be the cup champions this year. Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Should I read this, Sally?
No, just ignore
it. Trump not inviting EU to the Ukraine talk.
If we start at 7:30, Sally, you can ask us stupid questions, but it's late, man. My kid has to go to bed, so I want to wrap this shit up.
I'll tell you what. I'll do my next Schwarting report live, and you can, if you show up for that, Sally, I'll answer any question you ask. On my word, you get as political as you want. We'll see. It'll probably just be you and me live, but
I have to do it on a different channel or something. Then.
Yeah, seriously, maybe
just make a YouTube channel, the Schwarting Report, and you can just talk about the
latest news.
That'd be funny, actually.
And we could have all the NBA heads on there too. We could take our NBA chat offline or online. Anyway, Grey Wolf. He said he was doing egg. Oh, thanks, Sally. That's just what I was hoping for. Grey Wolf. I'm not impressed with Mustafa either, but I feel like he has been more productive than Semi of late.
Productive?
I think you can probably make the argument that neither has been especially productive of late, or productive at all. That one penalty he earned was a monicum of productivity, although theoretically the person who gets credited with that productivity is whoever it is that put the penalty in the back of the net.
I think Billy's right. I think Billy's right. I feel like after that Ajax game, I think that probably did something to Mustafa's confidence a little bit. And I agree with Grey Wolf, though, that Mustafa needs to get minutes, but I think he needs to get the minutes somewhere else, man. I think he needs to get the minutes, like Demirege now getting minutes at Rio Ave. I think Mustafa needs to get those minutes at a club like that without the buyout clause.
Yeah, I mean, Demirege is a great example of what we could hope for from Mustafa, no doubt. And for anyone who wants to know, especially our Spotify listeners, when Khan said Billy was right, he means that Billy Erdogan says that the Ajax match cracked Mustafa mentally. And I think that we could all agree with that to some extent. And we all said at the time that it was kind of putting too much on him too soon, too much on his plate. That proved to be true at the time. And certainly he hasn't done much since to really get anyone that excited. I will mention that Grey Wolf said he wants to see him getting more playing time. And I mean, he might. Ideally, we'd have a better backup striker, but
I think he needs to get it somewhere else. Let's talk about this man, Necip Uysal, the captain of the club. Injured for the last 6 or so months, give or take. He should be back soon. He's back in training. He has gotten a contract extension, age 34, but he's gotten a 2-year contract extension now until 2027. That will probably be his last contract, but we don't know for sure, of course. Maybe he returns perfectly from his injury and he still goes on for a couple of more years after that, but he will be 36 by the time this contract elapses. It's clear that he wants to finish his career at Beşiktaş and that the club are willing to facilitate that. Guys, Necip Uysal, let's get your takes on the contract extension, Kartal. I already gave most of my take on today's VIP podcast, so if you want to hear my take on it for the most part, go and check out the VIP podcast on patreon.com/Beşiktaş podcast. You can check it out for free for 7 days. And otherwise, it's just $1.99 a month. So a cup of coffee, cup of tea for more podcasts, more Beşiktaş podcasts in English.
And
go check that out.
And if you subscribe, you get to hear me screaming your name at the end of every episode like a madman, making jokes about you. Which sometimes they're favorable jokes. Other times, no. I don't think I've actually made fun of anyone.
They've never been not. Fair.
I've never been cruel to anyone. Yeah, Kartal. Yeah, what do you think about Necip? I'll let you go first.
Yeah, look, I think it's fine. I'm happy with that. I'm happy for Necip to finish his career at Beşiktaş. He deserves it. He's been very loyal, especially the last kind of 5 or so years. He's been earning peanuts.
No. He's been on like $1 million, man.
They don't.
So what? Did he get a pay hike? What are the financials on that?
He took a pay cut at some point, I think, but I think he's back up again.
What did he sign for?
He might have actually taken a pay cut on Rahmet Nukçebi. Maybe you're right, but I think he got a pay rise after that again. There's no financials. There's no financials on it.
We don't know. Okay, so we don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy seeing Necip retire at Beşiktaş. For me, he is arguably a legend. He's been a great
legend to true longevity.
Yeah. I think for a centre back, he's a good fourth option.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with it, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is the last, man, and we can say farewell in 2027, and maybe he can start his coaching career.
Yeah. But I do want to say, like, Sinan, do you agree with that? Like, he's been loyal. I mean, I feel.
I mean, where else was he gonna go?
That's kind of how I feel about it. Like,
it's not like he's gonna get a better sort of platform. But I will look. Actually, Kartal, here's my question for you. What is the higher, like, is he a legend as far as, like, are there just legends, or in your mind are there like icons and then legends? Like, so is there like a tier above? Is that I'm looking for some nuance, Kartal.
Like, see, for me, man, like, undisputed legends, I think in the last, let's say since the 2010s, I'd say Atiba and Quaresma.
Yeah.
Undisputed. I think Necip, I said...
Is he in that caliber?
He's not in terms of performance, but in terms of longevity and service to the club, you could argue. And the fact that he's never made an issue of being a sub. But I think for him, because of his limited talent, it's a bit of a debate. I think he's arguably there.
Let us know in the comments, by the way, guys, what do you think about it? And sorry to interrupt you, Kartal, but on the Beşiktaş Reddit, they've been doing this tier list, and they have A, B, C, S tier. They have the S tier, and then they have the S plus tier. They put Necip in the S plus tier. So they put Sergen in the S tier. They put Necip S plus.
I'm doing that meme I always share.
I think a lot of them like collectively went after Raku that day, man. Like I don't understand how you can how you can do that.
They're putting the Tina and Tinergy, I think.
The Cardinals saying that is having like Tumer as a B, and then you've got Jason Fernandez at steal.
Yeah. I mean, I think that kind of just shows people's ages. Like, I think people who like genuinely watched Tumer, I think kids who were kind of raised on the betrayal of Tumer, but didn't really see his prime days with us. I could see them putting him in a B tier, and Jetson in like, what did they put Jetson in A or S? Did they put Jetson in S?
Yeah, which I think is a joke.
I'm a massive Jetson fan, but
That's
come
a little
on,
bit
guys.
Also
on.
Presumptuous.
Like, I think A
presumptuous
is
like
it.
the word of the day.
A is pushing it.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably
you know what, guys?
now.
This is something actually. I think it's a great idea that the tier listing. I want to
Maybe
do
we
that
should
with
do
you
our
guys.
own.
Yeah,
I like
I
it.
want to do that maybe for like an international break or something, or like just put out a video, or maybe just like put out a video throughout. Like I think we should do stuff like that, like top 10 lists, tier rankings and stuff like that. I think we should start working on that and start making videos like that because I think that would be some fun content. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, it'd be fun if we had sort of an interactive way to share it and get like a tally going of some sort. Yeah, I don't know how we would ever. We're not very tech savvy in that way.
I just do our list, our personal list, our top 10s.
Yeah, or we could just do it together because, to be honest, Ken, I think there'll be certain names on that list where, for example, you'd be more knowledgeable in doing it than me. And Sinan would be more knowledgeable of doing it than me because
just
obviously.
Age-wise.
Because Can's I'm from 1998, Can's from 1988, so he's a full 10 years older than me. So that's
way to rub it in, Cartel.
And thank you for not mentioning mine. That was awesome.
This case is a positive, man, for you because you've got more knowledge and you go back further.
Wisdom. The wise man.
What year were you born, Sinan? Remind us.
I think Sinan's 81.
I think 83.
I think we're having. Is there technical? I can't hear you. I think you're muted, Con. Just kidding. Something like that. Yeah, early 80s. Well, yeah, we'll call it. Yeah, no, it is 81.
81. Oh, you're older than Atiba. Oh.
Yeah, but I still look youthful.
You
do. So does Atiba, though. Atiba's doing much better.
Atiba looks great as well, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Get some more comments, and there's another contract extension I'm gonna bring.
We got some good comments, I think. Billy says, "Can you just turn on donations here on YouTube Super Chat?" No, we cannot, Billy. Not yet. We're getting there. However, we need more numbers as far as viewers, subscribers. Is there a third?
We actually hit the markers, so they just need to like. So we hit 3,000 watch hours last week. So they just need to like verify those hours or something, and we'll be able to start a member, YouTube membership and stuff like that. But I don't know if I want to do a YouTube membership because we have all the member stuff on Patreon. So I'm thinking of just doing like, obviously super chats and stuff. You can do that. But I don't know if we're gonna do the membership yet because then I'll have to like find a way to upload it on both. But like. A big part of our Patreon is a VIP podcast, which is audio only, and then I have to upload that on YouTube and make a video out of it, and I don't know. I have to look into it, but we are gonna have at least super chats. Probably next episode we'll have super chats, if depending on how quickly YouTube process our application, and if we pass it, because you have to apply.
So to you poor folks out there, get your chat comments in quickly. No, I'm just kidding. We'll probably still prioritize like some of the legends of the group chat. Don't worry.
Super chats and donations will be purely just guys, if you want to give us like a little tip or so. But actually, there's in the description of the video, there's a tip link. There's a link you can click, and you can actually send us a tip there via Stream Elements, and that 100% goes to us. So nobody gets a cut. So if you give us like €1, that euro goes fully to us. It doesn't go to like anyone else. Whereas with YouTube, they take like a 45% cut or something. I think.
There you go.
Anyway,
Happy with it. So, look, chat. Grey Wolf. I think he's more of a fixture rather than an icon or legend. This is about Necip. Yeah, and that's why I asked Karto if he had any kind of tiers in that sense, and that started the whole tier conversation. So I guess we're gonna have to tier it out eventually. And I liked it. Maybe during the summer, we could do that together, like on air. That could be fun. We could really have a converse on the topic. And finally, Grey Wolf says, for the tier list, will there be a time spent with the club restriction? Everyone pooled in together. I would say any name you can think of who played for Beşiktaş, put him on the list, but factor in time spent in how you analyze that. I think
that's up to everyone individually. Like for me personally, I think Mario Gomez is a legend because he was only here 1 year, but he was phenomenal. He was so good. He was so much better than any other striker I've ever seen play for us. That he's the all-time
that's the kind of
best
exception to that rule.
He's the GOAT.
Sure.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah, for me, like Gomez is the only reason why Gomez is not on my like undeniable like tier for the 2010s. Like from the 2010s for me, like Quaresma and I think are definitions. Like Gomez is on that kind of debatable tier. Like in terms of performance, of course, it's like a legendary 1 year performance, but because it was only that 1 year.
Yeah, I think I have him at S rather than S plus.
For me, like Gomez is a legend, but I think there is a debate there because it was only 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an S tier, not S plus tier, which is
my big question is like in my head he was so important, not just because of how good he was, but also the winner mentality that he brought and the leadership that he brought. There was I think Ozan had something very interesting to say about this recently, about how at a certain point Quaresma got kind of annoyed at him because Ozan wasn't giving him the ball, and in training Quaresma said to Mario something like, "Hey, have you noticed this, Mario? Like he's just giving all the balls to his friends. He's not passing it to me." And Mario said, "No, he's giving me the balls." And then afterwards, Mario went to Ozan and said, "Hey, Ozzy, you gotta give him the ball more, man," because something like that. But like,
funny.
So
he actually covered for him, but
so he covered. So
that's
he like
leadership. There you go.
he stood up. He was a leader, and he prevented something from festering there, from a resentment to sprawl from that or something. And I think Gomez was more than just the best striker we've ever had. I think he was also that tipping point that took us from being a contender from the year before. The year before we already had, I would argue, one of the best strikers we've ever had in Dembaba, because I think Dembaba was really, really fucking good in his prime. And that season, I think he was amazing.
Didn't he even do us a solid in how he left? Like,
oh yeah, he goes 13 million. He goes a massive transfer fee. But I think Dembaba was already really, really good. But I think Gomez gave us that little extra something that enabled us to win the championship. I don't know if we would have won it without Gomez, even though we had a great team with Sosa, with Ozzy, with Quaresma coming in, all that kind of stuff. I know we had a great team, but I think Gomez just gave us that edge that we needed that year, because I don't know if you remember, but Fener were super competitive that year. They were the favorites for the championship that year, and it's because we beat them and all that kind of at home and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there was like a first derby win in years, I think, because we hadn't won like a derby in a couple of years. That was a massive moment. I just think that I don't know if we go on that really successful period under Şenol Güneş if it isn't for Mario Gomez. I think he set up the groundwork for the championship the year after, and the great European runs as well. So I think that's why for me he's definitely S+.
He's up there.
Yeah.
S+. Wow.
Yeah.
Connor McLeod says, "Are you guys happy with our legend, the baby-faced assassin?"
So far, so good.
Who is that?
Ole.
Oh, that's Ole? Oh, I see the baby faces. I was noticing his facial hair was very, didn't he was trying to grow it out, but you could barely see it. Yeah, it's not very visible. Like, it was
By the
fun.
way, here, Mustafa Hekimolo on the screen as well, extended until 2028. So he's currently 17 years old. This will keep the player 3 more years at the club, at least until he's 20. So Mustafa Hekimolu's future at the club secured for the time being. But we'll have to wait and see. Of course, it doesn't mean he stays until 2020. I just wanted to bring that up. Not something I want to spend a great deal talking about. I think it's a good, what can you say? It's a young player. We extended him. Great. But it's not a talking point.
I mean,
to
better
me.
than letting him go for nothing.
Yeah. And then the
There's
final
one more
thing.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah. Go
Go
ahead and ask the question. In the meantime, I'll
Grey
bring
Wolf.
this up. Yeah.
Sure. Grey Wolf says, "What about Bobo? His first
love
career was
Bobo.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Following season, not so great. His first year, I think he means his first. Yeah, he said he corrected. His first year was fantastic. The following season was not so great.
He was with us for 5,
you have him in
6
A?
years.
You have an A?
Yeah. I have Bobo in A for sure. Yeah, I think he's.
I was gonna say B tier. I have
He was
B
he was
tier.
very consistent.
I'd say B as well, man, because I think we struggled for strikers. See, if you look at from when Ilhan left up until Denver Va, I think we really struggled for strikers in that stretch.
I think he was better. Hot take, better than Ilhan.
But Ilhan did have that whole season.
Ilhan had one really good season, but Ilhan didn't score in derbies. Bobo always scored in derbies. Loved scoring goals against Trabzonspor. Loved scoring goals against Fener, even against Galatasaray. I don't think Ilhan has a single derby goal, man.
See, the thing with Bobo is he never went over like 12, 13 goals in the league, but that was a bit of an issue, I think.
I think he had one season where he scored 20 in all competitions. That was definitely an issue. I think that's what keeps him back from being more than A. But if I'm not mistaken, I think to this day he is our all-time leading foreign top scorer. I think.
Do you not think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he actually did stick around for like 5-6 years though?
I was gonna say that's because Gomez didn't stick around.
Of course, but he has the consistency, right? I mean, Hugo Almeida was with us for like 3 years as well, so 3.5, okay.
Yeah, no, he's definitely B tier, C tier.
He's like 30 goals off, so
Like Almeida, I think Almeida and Bobo were like in the league anyway, output wise, it was quite similar.
I'd probably have them both B tier.
Bobo also had the big goals in Europe. Goal against Marseille, big goal against Marseille. No, Marseille. Liverpool, but also in the UEFA
Liverpool
Cup,
is the one that stands out.
He had a couple of, he is our, I think until Abubakar recently, I think he was our top scoring foreigner. Or no, I think Quaresma and Abubakar both overtook him, but he was our top scoring foreigner in Europe as well. So I think, Bobo, you can definitely make a case for B or A, but I'll put him in A because I think he's a little bit underappreciated.
I mean, I look forward to this exercise.
Yeah. Let's stop doing it. Let's look at Necip Uysal's team, the best team he played with. So he has. Let's start at the bottom because I think that's the most interesting one. Courtesy of he has Rüştü in goal. He has Adriano at left back. I think all of us will agree on that.
Yeah, that's not even a
debate. I think he has Marcelo and Pepe centrally. Yeah, interesting. I think because Pepe, some would argue, obviously the best, but was he the best when he was at Beşiktaş? I don't know. Gökhan Gündoğan at right back. I think that's interesting as well, but probably fair. Atiba and Ozan centrally. Rafa Silva at the 10. Very interesting.
Wow.
Babel left wing, Quaresma right wing, and Mario Gomez up top. Guys, what do you think about this list? This is Necip's best team that he played with, according to Necip.
Overall, it's a very, very good 11. I think.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed.
And maybe make a couple of tweaks, but guys, do you not think that with these players all in their prime that we'd win the Europa League with this team?
Oh, fuck yeah, man! Oh, yeah. I would love to see.
I think with this team in their primes, like all at like 26-ish, I think we win the. Yeah, I definitely think so.
Well, even if you have them all in their primes while at Beşiktaş.
Yeah.
Did Necip play with Manuel Fernandes?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he was here for 16 years, man.
So he picked Ozan over Manuel Fernandes. He picked Ozan over Jedson. He picked Ozan over Trying to think of other impressive central midfielders. Jose Sosa, although he's more of a 10, I guess. So I guess he really picked.
I see, like, Sosa did play as an 8 for Trabzon after us, but for us, he did play as a 10. I get that. And
so he picked Rafa over Jose Sosa.
The only exception I take here is Rushtu in goal. I'd put Fabri in there if I was, if I were to pick.
Yeah, sure.
And I'd put Gazal.
I probably would
I'd put Gazal in over Babel because I think Gazal is a much better, much more complete footballer, has the set pieces. But yeah, Babel, of course, in that team was really instrumental. So he's the scoring winger, and I get it. I'm kind of surprised that he puts Rafa in there. Not because I
was impressed. I'm impressed by it.
Yeah, like I think most people would put Sosa in there, or they would put Talisca in there. Maybe he didn't put Talisca in there because of how sensitive that is right now.
Exactly.
I'd change Rushtu for Fabri, and I'd maybe put in Fernandes over Rosa.
Really?
Yeah, I think I would.
Jetson Fernandes or Manuel Fernandes?
Manuel.
Me too.
But
okay.
I could also make a case for playing Sosa as an 8 as well. Instead of,
that was what I was debating on. Yeah, exactly.
But obviously, I understand why, because Sosa played as a 10 for us, so I kind of get why he wouldn't have been included. I'd keep Babel, man.
Shouldn't Sosa be in over Rafa though? Because I think Rafa's the better player, and I don't think there's an argument there. I think Rafa is a much better player overall.
Put it in the terms you did, Khan. In the terms that you did, if you're picking those players at their peak, which of those two are you picking? Rafa Silva?
I'm always picking. I'm picking Rafa, but the problem is, this is for me. It's kind of like, what did they achieve with Beşiktaş almost? And I think right now,
Rafa, maybe that wasn't quite his criteria.
But
maybe he was picking
of course.
players.
And you could also argue, Sosa played for us for 2 years, didn't do shit in Europe. Rafa, in one season in Europe already, very impactful, even though we didn't go through. It's the best team he played with, according to him. So I think it's.
I don't see why he put Rushtu in there, man.
No, I don't get that.
Yeah, I agree.
Rushtu was decent for us, but Fabri was fucking amazing, man.
Yeah.
I get Fabri. Yeah.
I think
we caught Rushtu at the tail end of his career too.
Yeah. The last 5 years. See what you think about it, man. Rushtu actually played for us for quite a long time. 5 years isn't a shot.
Yeah, he did.
It's nothing to sneeze at for sure, but he might be my second place.
Yeah, for in that time period, for sure. Yeah, I think. But Fabri has to be.
It's not freaking Tolga.
No. Definitely not.
Good. Fabri and Marco are better, man.
Yeah. Did you guys see that tweet, by the way, from Vanessa Cordoba? Let me see if I can bring it up. Let's see. Word mentioning
pre-Nejip, or that would be an interesting chat conversation. Fevzi, great little thing with Fevzi.
Oh, Fevzi, yeah. Eren has some fond memories of him. Let's see. Where is this? Oh, here's the tweet. This is a good one as well, guys. So this was a tweet by Beşiktaş originally. The best at Mert Gunuk.
He's great, but my dad was better.
Yeah, and then Vanessa goes, he's great, but my dad was better. And isn't she right though? For me, the best goalkeeper I've seen in the Beşiktaş shirt was Solskjaer.
Same.
What did you think of the allegations that he kind of phoned it in at the end though? Do you think that's bullshit?
I don't know, man. I was too young, honestly. There was a lot of people say,
and I already idolized him too much. I could never see bad in him.
Yeah, he was
older.
He must have been 37 or something at that point. Maybe he just lost his. I don't know.
Maybe he lost his drive. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I was a little too young to be in all of that, but I've seen so much of that over the years in Turkey. People come up with these wild conspiracy theories of players having fucking tumors in their knees and shit. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Let's get to these last couple of comments and close it out, guys. Because
it's getting late over there, fellas. What about Bobo? We covered Bobo. Connor Ole, yeah. I didn't know he was the baby. It makes sense. I get the moniker. Tuna Demirci, first time commenter, I believe, says Beşiktaş throws up the eagle emoji. Right back at you. He goes, impressive, maybe. I have no idea what you're referring to as impressive. Maybe Necip's starting 11, which was impressive, no doubt. Then with NS Demirtas, who I think may have commented here before. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know.
If not,
subscribe,
great
by
to
the way,
see.
guys.
Yeah, like, subscribe, follow, check out our Patreon, the works. You'll see why in a moment once I start screaming people's names out. NS Demirtas says, Rafa did lots of key passes to Chiro this season, but the difference is Sosa got Gomez there. Sosa had Gomez there.
I kind of feel like Rafa doesn't feed Chiro quite
I was going to say,
now.
I don't know if Chiro's gotten a ton of key passes from anyone, but...
Yes, believe it or not, guys, do you know who creates the most chances on our team in the league this season?
Is it? Don't tell me it's Rashica. It's Rashica.
Yes. Yeah.
I knew it was going to be Rashica. I didn't want to say it, but I feel like who else could it be?
According to Fortmore, we created 3 in the last game.
Okay.
So Rafa Silva this season is only creating 1.65 chances per 90.
Mm-hmm.
For example, that's quite a lot down compared to last year at Benfica. He created 2.15.
Yeah, and also, I mean, he only has the 1 assist in the league. He has 7 assists overall, but 6 of those came in Europe. I think that's something noteworthy. I don't know why that is, though. I don't feel like he plays differently in the league. Maybe he's a little bit more of a focal point for goals in the league, and I don't know. I wonder why that is. Or if that's just a coincidence.
Rashica, on the other hand, creates 2.9 chances per 90, according to Fortmore.
So, data-wise, he is very attractive. So, hopefully some clubs are data scouting the shit out of us. And
some like Danish club, Midtjylland. Come get him.
Come get him.
Comments. What else do we have here? Rafa, we did that. Grey Wolf joked about Fevzi. Then he asks, Grey Wolf, did you watch the legendary match when Beşiktaş beat a 10-man Fener?
Of course. Panku in the goal. Yeah, he got a red card there for. I think it was he tried to. Tunjai tried to go around him, and he
Yep.
I don't know if it was a red card. Honestly, I remember he was very pissed about the red card. He didn't.
So back then, I
didn't want to leave the pitch.
I used to go to a Turkish restaurant here in New York to watch those matches because they would air them. Because you couldn't. It was before streaming was a thing, So, but yeah, that I remember that match. There were half of the restaurant was Fener fans and half were Beşiktaş fans. It was a huge back and forth. I
feel that would be really, really fun to rewatch those games with Kartal for a watch along. Because I think Kartal I don't think Kartal ever watched those, right?
It'd be a summer plans.
The 4-3, the Kadikut game.
Yeah.
I remember me, you, and my dad, we followed that live on the fucking see the live updates used to get on Sport X.
Teletext or something. Oh, Sport X. Man, that the first goal, that was that's prime 2, man. The way he scores that goal. I mean, we have to do it's a big time commitment because it's 90 plus minutes to watch a full game. But I feel like we have to.
I mean, we're here for 3 hours regularly.
No, but
whatever.
but we can't do it on YouTube because obviously it would get flagged for copywriter. But on Patreon we can do a little bit more. So watching that game would be cool, I think.
See, you guys you're quite lucky, Can, that you had that Turkish restaurant, man. For me, it was first teletext. That was my first memories of Beşiktaş, and then seeing the results and stuff, and then when we got internet in say 2002 or 2003, we started following the games through Sport X. Would be the live commentary. It just give you updates of everything that happened.
I followed a lot of matches via teletext as well, man, because I would go to my dad's on the weekends and then we'd watch the games together. So most of the matches that were on the weekend, most of the league games I always saw. But the European games, they were usually on on a Thursday or something, or on a Wednesday if it was Champions League. I wouldn't be able to watch all those matches. Sometimes my dad would come and get me just to watch the game, and then would drop me back off at home. But
was that before UEFA.com?
Then there was a time where you could actually buy a day pass on UEFA.com and you could watch the game.
$3.
That didn't last very long though, unfortunately.
No. see Sky Sports here. Now it's TNT, which was BT. But see, when I was growing up, Sky Sports had all the rights for the Champions League, and like the only time when I wasn't in Turkey, like during the summer, I could watch the games properly before like Digiturk playing. Well, before that, even there was the dodgy websites. We could watch every Champions League game. We could watch on Sky Sports, so it'd be brilliant when we were in the Champions League, and then we could watch the UEFA Cup games before it was the Europa League games. They would show them if we played an English team. So see when we played like Bolton and Tottenham in the UEFA Cup, I watched those games because they were on. I think they were on ITV.
I have a memory actually. Back in the 2002-2003 season, like I watched all the league games in the weekends at my dad's. But like for example, the cup games, they were during the week. And I remember one time we were playing Gençlerbirliği in like the semi-final, and they broadcasted it on TRT so I recorded it on a videotape. And that game we lost it 3-4, but I rewatched it so many times. You know, I was like, 14, 15 years old or something back then. And it was actually a good game.
VHS.
Yeah, man.
The
like
days of
videotape,
VHS.
rewatching that shit. Ilhan scored a hat-trick, I think, and we still lost. It was at home as well. It was a great Gençlerbirliği side, though. That's amazing players.
I'll never forget when I was in college. It must have been 2000, 2001 maybe. But I had a job working at a video store talking about VHS tapes. I think we were getting DVDs in at the time for the first time. But yeah, I would watch those games on UEFA.com like while I was working in quotes. But that's working at a video store. You could pull that kind of shit. But yeah, man, like.
Did you guys have like a Justin TV phase where you watch the games on there, or like?
No, I
did.
I had a phase like that, man. See, like after Sporex, we moved on to like these dodgy websites.
Yeah,
and then in 2010 when Quaresma came, we got Digiturk Play.
I did not have the patience for those websites, man. I have rage issues with all the pop-ups and the buffering, and
it was
painful.
No. It was a painful time.
No,
it was rough times, man. But see at the time, obviously, like it was still great because you could at least watch some of the game.
Yep.
Maybe buffering for quite a lot of it, but.
Well, honestly,
yeah. Whenever I couldn't go to the restaurant, I would have to do that. But
I think once I got out of school, I bought myself a TV. And I had it in I still lived at home back then with my parents or with my mom and my stepdad. And I had my little office where I had my computer, and then above my computer I had my TV right up above my computer, and I'd watch the games on there. I think I got Digiturk Play for the first time then. But back then it was really expensive. It was like 500 euros for 2 years or something like that. It was really.
That's why I never got the box. Yeah.
It was really expensive.
It was that expensive. My mum said to my dad, she's like, "It was can either need to get the Turkish football or we get to the Sky Sports." So me, Ugurcan, and my dad, Ugurcan, my twin brother, we made the joint decision that we'd get League TV, but we'd get to the Sky Sports. It was worth it.
There you go.
I thought really worth it, because now we wouldn't have to put up with the shitty websites anymore.
Yeah.
Watch the games. And see,
sorry, go ahead.
The picture wasn't even that good on Digiturk Play at the start.
Yeah.
It took a good few to get good.
I still don't think it's that good. I still think if I watch, for example, Premier League is much, like, if you watch Premier League games, it's like you're watching a 4K Blu-ray or something, and when you watch the Super League, it's like, it's kind of grainy a little bit. It's not great.
It looks better. See, when you watch it on like proper satellite, it does look a lot better.
It does. It does.
I know what you mean.
It looks a lot better than on satellite, or also with the box, because you have like the IP box.
Oh, it looks. I don't use that. I just use like the app for.
No, I don't use.
They do.
Yeah, I don't use the IP box either, but I was just thinking maybe it's worth getting it if it's better.
No, the picture quality. See, if you get the satellite and watch it that way, it's better. But yeah, I mean, I think these two plays came a long way. It's a lot better than it was in terms of the picture quality.
Yeah, it's better, but
Well, I know, it's probably it's barely 1080p probably, where, as you said, Premier League's 4K.
Yeah, it's also often, I think it depends on the stadium, and some stadiums they have the cameras really high up. Like in our stadium, I think they're, I think they could be a little bit more zoomed in our stadium. Honestly, I don't think they have the best and also I think it depends on the cameras they have. Obviously, the cameras they put in the Fenerbahce, Beşiktaş, and Galatasaray Stadium are better quality. I don't think they constantly move those. I think those are just there all the time. And then, if you watch games in the Rize Stadium, for example, they have this one camera. It's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway. A shadow the full frame.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that'll do it, guys. Unless I don't think we have any more stuff to talk about. But
I think we're done.
I skipped that Justin TV and all that, and the Selçuk Spor and all that kind of stuff. I don't have the patience for it, man. Whenever I can.
No, yeah, the one as soon as it became affordable to pay for a reliable service, I did it. Because that.
Man,
yeah. How many viruses? How many laptops did I fuck up with the viruses from Selçuk Spor?
I even changed internet providers for 6 months because here in Belgium, the Champions League rights were with a different internet provider, so I had to change to be able to watch our Champions League games in 2016 and stuff like that. And, I even did that, but I'm never doing that again. Nowadays, the European games have always been a hassle, and I've had to find creative solutions for that, unfortunately. But for the league, I've been a decade and a half
funny
customer.
Paramount Plus is actually for the first time in my life, made following European football rather simple. It's just one subscription. The problem is if you want to watch any other leagues, you got to get Peacock for for the Premier League, or you have to get in for the Liga.
I actually pay
Plus,
for who has the rights in the Europa League here in Belgium, but they don't broadcast all the games. So I need to be lucky that they broadcast our game, which I don't think they've done once. So
to be fair, you've got a VPN.
Now you got Tabi. Yeah, Tabi's brilliant, but that's only since now, right? That's last year. It wasn't like that, Was it last year? So I'm very happy that they did that, but how long are they gonna keep those rights, right? Because it's
So it started this year. I think they have them for next year as well, but I'm not sure about.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, that'll do it. We discussed this long enough, guys. Thank you all very much for watching the Black Eagles podcast. Go check out our Patreon, patreon.com/podcast, if you want to support us other than liking, commenting, and subscribing. For just $1.99 a month, you can become a Black Eagle VIP member. You gain access to a lot of extra bonus content, including a at least weekly VIP podcast. Sometimes it's more than once a week because, for example, this past January transfer window, there was just so much stuff to talk about, although there wasn't always so much to talk about, if you know what I mean. No, then we had more frequent episodes. But there's also other stuff that's going to come on there, like I just talked about. Watch-alongs and stuff like that are going to be on there in the future. So go and check it out. If you like what we do and you want to support us, become a Patreon member. It's just $1.99 a month. It's just a cup of coffee for you, but the more we get, it adds up. And it really helps, so please go and check that out. And also, you gain access to our WhatsApp group. Even if you don't become a Black Eagle VIP member, just go and sign up on Patreon.com, become a free member, and then you can still gain access to our WhatsApp group as well, where we talk all day, every day, all about Beşiktaş.
Right. When this episode finishes airing, we will all reconvene in the WhatsApp chat as per usual. So yeah, definitely check out that. Stay in touch, folks. Be back. Of course, we're going to be playing again. Now I got to double check. I keep getting this wrong because they schedule these things so last minute.
Is it Friday?
So yeah, I think our next match is Friday.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. At noon, my time, we're on the road against Eyüpspor. So 12 here, which means 7 p.m. in Turkey, maybe 8 p.m.
8, I think. Yeah.
Probably 8, right? Because then it's 7 for Ugurcan
6
and 6 for Ugurcan.
12 for you or 1 for you?
12 noon,
so it's
which
6,
is rare. I don't
6,
think I've ever
6
seen
for
that.
me, 8 locally in Turkey, and it'll be 5 for Kartal. So Kartal with the late shift this week, man, that's gonna suck.
I was just I just need to put it on my MacBook while I'm walking.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, you can do like I did at the old video store.
Don't say that on
Where there's a
there,
will, there's a way. Yeah, that's right. Let's not get you fired for no good reason. But yeah, so we will be back next Monday, and then next week we're going to probably have another 2-episode week because there's a cup game upcoming. But we'll talk about that after we discuss the Eyüpspor match. So stay tuned for that. We will be back, of course. Like, follow, subscribe, check out the Patreon, all that good stuff. And as always, let's go Beşiktaş! Peace out, everybody. Let's see the list. Ozcan, Zerzavaci, the Grape Toe, Atil, the Chicago Bull Malak, Paul O'Connor. I don't have a good nickname for you, Paul. We got to get to know you a little better. Nathan, Mr. Colorado Davis, the Finnish Kebab. I mean, that name is just too good. I don't really have anything to add to that. Sorry, man. We all love good kebab, though. Tristan Cray, Michael Berry, Dara the Irishman Henty, Mario 3 and a 2 and a 1 Vargas. I saw that kid. Niall Tari, Sebastian, the Knock Sporting Director, Hi Knock, the Vigilante Turk. Where were you today, sir? Nasser, you too, man. And of course, the indomitable, indubitable, indefatigable Dutch Eagle himself. Peace out, everybody. See you on Friday or Monday. See you next Monday. Later.